ఓం శ్రీ గణేశాయ నమః. ఓం శ్రీ సరస్వతి దేవ్యే నమః. ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. ఓం సాయిరామ్. అనంతకోటి బ్రహ్మాండ నాయక మహారాజాధిరాజ యోగిరాజ పరబ్రహ్మ సచ్చిదానంద భక్త ప్రతిపాలక సమర్థ సద్గురు షేగాన్ నివాసి శ్రీ గజానన్ మహారాజ్ కి జై. శ్రీ గజానన్ మహారాజ్ విజయ గ్రంథ్ చాప్టర్ 14. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Sri Ram, son of Kausalya, crown of the Raghu dynasty, Sitapati, have compassion on me. I am just a child. You liberated Tratika, also rescued Ahalya, trapped as stone, and made Shabari happy by visiting her home. Son of Dasarath, you renounced the crown to protect your devotees from being mowed down. Monkeys got strength from your blessings to assist you in your righteous battle. O killer of Ravan, the demon, your name made stones float in the ocean. You installed on the throne devotee Bibhishan. Those who submit to you get rid of all tribulations. Please remember to protect this writer. How can a child escape away from the mother? Your divinity encompasses all the three: Father, Mother, and Guru. You are Kalpattaru, the tree fulfilling all desires. You are the Almighty, so protect me in this strife and guide me through this ocean of life. A Brahmin named Bandhudatya lived in Mehakar. He was a pious man of generous nature. In this business called existence, there are ups and downs every instance. Even then, one trades with persistence and gets completely entangled in affection. Bandhudatya hosted many a guest and looked personally to their comforts. This went on and on until all his money was gone. He borrowed some from moneylenders by mortgaging his house and gardens. With his debts towering tall, he felt ashamed and avoided all. He even sold his utensils until he was left with nothing. Even as he suffered penury, the creditors chased him for money. He couldn't afford even 2 square meals. His wife and offsprings insulted him a great deal. Because of such a poor credit rating, no one would anymore lend him money. He became frustrated with his life and started thinking of committing suicide. No one respects penniless men. Sweet home turns into a sorrowful den. This is the way of this world insane. Bandhudatya thought of jumping in a well, but if someone saw and pulled him out, he thought he may be charged for attempted suicide. So he decided to go to Himalayan heights to kill himself and avoid charge of suicide. He left with a loincloth and ash smeared all over his body to hide his identity. People of high society are afraid of public condemnation. Bandhudatya said in his mind, "O God, why are you so much displeased with me? I lived a life of full faith in thee. Scriptures say that even a beggar becomes wealthy with your grace, O Almighty. My present experience is something else. It makes me think of the poets as insane who have described you as a full of grace and benefactor of the oppressed. O divinity, I owe this life to thee. If I die, the blame will be all on you. Almighty, please save yourself from this indignity." Saying thus, Bandhudatya went to the railway counter to purchase a ticket. A Brahmin approached him with a suggestion. "Don't buy a ticket to Haridwar station. First go and bow down to one, a saint called Sri Gajanan. Before you proceed to Haridwar, go and meet him at Shegon. Don't take such hasty steps because of momentary frustration. Know that a glimpse of a saint will positively bring you a solution." Bandhudatya was confused, fearing he would be recognized. He was shy of asking the person's name and identity, nor did he know this personality. However, he decided to go to Shegon and pay respects to Gajanan Maharaj. He went and bowed down to the saint, whereupon the saint laughed and said, "Why do you go to Himalaya? To end your life? No one should kill himself nor lose hope. None should stop trying to get desired things. If you commit suicide due to problems in life, you will be born again to undergo sufferings avoided by you in this span of living. So don't rush to Himalaya to drown in the Ganges. Instead, go home immediately to end your stress. Have you recognized the Brahmin who met you at the railway station? Go back and don't stay a moment further. There is a shrine of God Mashoba in your garden. Go there alone at midnight and dig 3 feet deep under the acacia tree. The tree is to the east of the deity. There you will find money in plenty. Square off your creditors and keep the rest for yourself. Don't leave your wife and children. Forget this false idea of renunciation. Hearing this, Bandhu returned to Kerda, his town. At midnight, he went on his own. The acacia tree, as advised, he found a copper pot covered with a lid. When he opened the lid, he found 400 gold coins in it. He lifted it and danced again and again, chanting, Jai Gajanan, Jai Gajanan. He paid off the creditors and repaid the mortgage on his house. By the grace of Sri Gajanan, he set right his affairs and was very happy once again. It was like nectar to a patient on deathbed or a life-saving boat to a drowning mate. Bandhudatya was in similar state. All adversity was erased from his fate. He came to Shegon and spent on charity. He bowed down to the saint, who said with authority, Why do you bow down to me? Why not to God, who got you all this? Now wake up and be clever. Be judicious in spending money hereafter. It is better not to be over liberal. People come to you in your good days, but God is with you always. Pray to Him, He will never neglect you. Hearing this, Bandhudatya bowed down to the saint and returned to his village. New moon on a Monday, called Somavati Amavasya, is an auspicious day. Much has been said about this in the holy texts. Bathing in the river Narmada brings devotees all bliss. It brings good luck and affluence. Everyone knows of this influence. People of Shegon were too aware and planned a visit to the Narmada river. Among them were Martan Patel, Bankatlal, Maruti Chandraban, and Bajrang Lal. They all decided to go to Omkareshwar. They thought if Maharaj comes, it would be better. They approached him and requested him for his company, saying that his presence would avert any calamity. They pleaded with Maharaj to concede to their request, whereupon the Maharaj said, Holy Narmada is always with me here. There is no need to go to Omkareshwar. I will have my Narmada bath here in Shegon. You may all proceed to the river. A famous king Mandata had ruled Omkareshwar. Sri Shankaracharya took his oath of renunciation before starting his religious mission there of liberating people from mundane affairs. So you proceed and meet the river. Don't force me to go there. I need not undergo such rituals. They did not listen to him and bowing down, pressed their request again and again. Maharaj said, You are hypocrites. The well water here contains Narmada's might. If I go there, Narmada will feel it a slight. So, in your interest, leave me alone. Please go on your own. Believe me, it is in your own interest. To which Maruti and Chandraban said that without him they would abandon the trip. Maharaj then warned them they should not blame him if something bad happens by his accompanying them. Thus they all came to Omkareshwar for Somavati. It was a big gathering there. Men and women were thronged on the banks of the river. Some were taking a holy dip, some others chanting hymns from the scripts. Some carried flowers to the temple to offer them to the idol. Many others were eating sweets. Groups of religious singers came in scores. Some offered to God Abhishek, a religious shower. At that pleasant place, Omkareshwar, Maharaj sat in a Padmasana pose by the river. The four devotees accompanying him went to the temple for the darshan. On their way back, they suggested that road journey was unsafe as it was congested. They thought the bullocks of their cart were undependable and suggested that they go back by a boat on the river. Maharaj said, Do what you like. They hired a small boat of choice. They all boarded the boat in action. On their journey back to Kedighat station, the boat dashed on a rock on the way, and a plank at the bottom was washed away. Recognizing the risk, the boatman jumped into the river. To save their lives, the pilgrims were scared. Maharaj sat nonchalantly, chanting his favorite hymn. Others were perturbed, their heart throbbed with fright. With folded hands, they prayed to Maharaj, We are guilty of disobedience from the start. As a result, Goddess Narmada is angry and is punishing by trying to drown us. O saint, hereafter we will obey each word of yours as if it is directed by the Vedas revered. Please save us from this danger and take us back to Shegon unhurt. By this time, half the boat was under water. While they were engaged in the prayer, onlookers who gauged the situation said, For these five, the end is near. Don't get scared, said the saint. River Narmada will not harm you in vain. Thus saying, the saint sang praise to the river goddess Narmada, which goes like this: O sacred Narmada Devi, destroyer of all things inauspicious and evil, pardon our faults with your benevolence. Water receded the boat that very instant. The hole at the bottom of the boat was sealed by the hand of the goddess Narmada indeed. She came dressed as a fisherwoman, was wet up to her waist and had curly hair. When the boat reached the bank, everyone looked at the broken plank. It was completely sealed and intact. They all were surprised at that. "Oh, kind lady," they said, "tell us who you are. You have saved us from disaster bizarre. Now change your clothes. They are wet. For you, here we have a dry set." Narmada said, "I am daughter of Omkar, the fisherman. My name is Narmada. For wet clothes, I don't care. I will always remain wet. My form is water. I like it best." Saying thus, she bowed down to the saint, disappearing like lightning in a moment. Looking at that, all the four persons were delighted. They were spellbound to see the saint's authority, where Narmada came for the glimpse of the saint. Even then, Bankat asked Maharaj as to who she was. "She has already told you her name. The fisherman is this Omkareshwar of fame. She said her form is water. She is actually the Narmada river. Do not harbor any doubts about her. She helps her devotees in times of danger. Say Jai to her in her honor." Hearing this, Bankat and the other three prostrated before Maharaj and narrated the incident at Shegon. Once Sadashiv Ranganath Vanavale, along with his friend, came to Shegon for the darshan of Sri Gajanan Maharaj. He was called Tatya and was a disciple of Chitrakoot's Sri Madhavnath Maharaj, who had mastered the art of yoga and had a large following at Malwa. Sadashiv entered the room of the Maharaj. Maharaj was taking his meals. When he saw Sadashiv, he remembered Sri Madhavnath Maharaj. Saints know each other without meeting. Bring those disciples of Srinath to me. Their guru just went away after taking meals with me. Being children of his brother, he gave them a traditional reception. He gave Sadashiv 2 leaves of betel for Srinath and asked to say a message without altering the form. "We had a meal together, but you forgot your pan here. Say, we have now brought it to you." Vanavale returned with the 2 leaves of betel. He narrated to Sri Madhavnath his conversation in details and asked him whether he had really gone for a meal to Shegon. Sri Madhavnath said, "What Sri Gajanan said is true. His remembering me at the time of meals is our meeting. We meet each other like that quite frequently. Do not have any doubt about it. Remembering each other is our meeting. Though we have different bodies, our life breath is the same." This subject is very deep. You may require time to understand it. It is good you brought the pan I forgot there. Srinath crushed and ate the pan. He gave a part to Vanavale as prasad. Sri Dhyaneshwar Maharaj, in his Changdiyo Pashashti, has described in detail how saints meet. One should understand this manner of meeting. It is interesting that yogis meet each other from any place though they are not near. Sheikh Mohammed was at Srigonda and Saint Tukaram at Dehu. When the pendle of Kirtan caught fire, Sheikh extinguished it from a distance, though Gonda was far from there. This coincidence of events is narrated by Mahipati in Bhakti Vijay about saints overall. Sri Manik Prabhu saved Patel's son from drowning in a well reaching holy village. Only yogis can perform such miracles. Yoga is more powerful than anything else. Learn yoga to serve the nation sincerely. May affectionate devotees with all faith listen to this treatise for prosperity, wealth, and health. Jai Gajanan. End of chapter 14.